Hey. This is Lisa A, and you're listening to Who's That Star on LCC Connect at Lansing Community College. Who's That Star is a behind-the-scenes show where I sit down and talk with the employees at the college. This is an inside look at LCC where you will have a chance to learn about their passions, projects, what inspires them both at work and in their personal lives. I'm your host, Lisa Alexander. I'm so excited to get a chance to talk to all the people who make LCC great. This show is for you to get to know the people that work at Lansing Community College a little bit more and see what makes them tick. Are you ready? Okay, let's go see who's today's star. Today on Who's That Star, we have one of my favorite stars. I have a lot of favorite people here at LCC, but this star is someone I have the opportunity to work close with, and he's helped me out a lot. I go to him with all kind of questions, and he's always willing to help me. This star is born and raised here in the Lansing area. He graduated from Sexton High School in 2007. He came to LCC right after graduation. Unsure of what he wanted to do, he earned his General Associates in 2010. During his time here at LCC, he worked as a student employee as well. After exploring the world for a while, this star decided to come back to LCC as a full-time employee in the Star Zone in December of 2014. This happened just 10 days before his second oldest was born. While working full-time, this star went back to the school to attend Siena Heights University and earn a bachelor's degree in human service. He was thinking he wanted to be in that field, but has decided to stay in higher ed, at least for now. All right, everyone. Are you ready to learn who's today's star? Today's star is Laz Lane. Laz, I'm so glad to have you here on Who's That Star today.
Well, Lisa, I appreciate it. I know you've been doing this for a while, and I've been waiting, but I didn't want to pester and, Lisa, when you gonna have me on the show and blah, blah, blah. But honestly, I don't think I was ready, and I'll get more into that later. But I'm just happy. I'm happy to be here. Good opportunity. First time on an official podcast, so I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited to have you here, so we're going to go ahead and get started.
Let's do it.
So the first question is, can you tell me about your work at LCC and what are your roles here?
Yep. So again, started in the Star Zone back when it was CRS, Customer Relations or Relationship Specialist. I heard both names, so I'm not sure. But CRS, and yeah, that was 10 days before LJ, my second oldest, was born, which was that whole timeline, that whole time frame. It was just crazy.
I bet.
But started in the Star Zone and did that for quite some time, and then I ended up with the academic success coach role. So I've been in this role for 2 years, but pretty much just helping students. Both roles were hands-on with students. This one is more so like a caseload that's assigned, a caseload of students who are assigned to me.
Yeah.
And basically, in a nutshell, just that go-to person if they have questions, issues, concerns, any type of guidance that I can give them, any advice, things like that. Just getting them connected with resources or the right people, just to help them be successful and just navigate through everything while they're at LCC.
Yeah, no, I know you do a wonderful job. So my next question is how you got started at LCC. And you kind of mentioned that, but I really feel like you do an excellent job as a success coach. And we've had other success coaches on here. But where I really think you was the bomb.com was when you was the CRS. I think that's what it is.
Yep.
But they changed the name, so I don't know. ESS now.
Yep.
But you really were a go-to person in that role, like you are in the success coach role. But you are so relatable. And I think it was a couple people in the Star Zone that was just my go-to people. And I'm glad that you are in another position, but I just really want you to know, how beneficial you was in that role,
Yeah.
how beneficial you was to not just students, but to me. I know when we were doing the pandemic and I would have to think about who do I need to ask the question to? And you were always there for me, last. So I really appreciate that. And I just know how you made me feel.
Mm-hmm.
I can just imagine how students felt with how you took care of them. You made them not feel dumb. Like I would feel like, oh. And then when you would tell me the answer, I'd be like, I knew that. But no, I just really want you to know how good you were in that job. And I'm glad that it led to something else. I wanted to know, like, what drew you to coming back to work at LCC? Like, I know you're a success coach now, but what drew you back in 2014 to come in the CRS role?
I was always interested in LCC to a certain degree. I think where it started was my student employment role. The Cesar Chavez Center, before it was in the ANS, before it was on the the third floor of Gannon. The Cesar Chavez Center at one point was located where the police and public safety office is right now.
Oh, okay. I didn't never know that.
Yep. So it was myself, another student employee, well, basically the core after a couple of people have left, and Felipe, who's back here now as well. So the three of us, we did so much. There's so many things I can go through with that. But when I was here, I was around positive people. And Felipe especially, I give him a lot of credit. He's always been like a mentor to me. Yeah. And he always pushed us to higher limits. He always wanted us to strive to be the best that we can be. And so once I left, I was just out here, you know, just working, trying to find just different jobs or whatever it is. And I always knew I have to keep my eye on jobs at LCC. And initially, it was more so for the education side to it, meaning I knew that at least as part-time, because I even applied for a few part-time jobs, didn't get them, or even didn't get a call for an interview, but I knew that there was the tuition incentive with it, or the benefit, I should say. And so I knew if I come back, I can get my credits paid for. Didn't have financial aid, too much of a knucklehead as a student, honestly. And if we had success coaches back then, there would have been a lot of alerts or referrals. And I just know it. But anyways, I made it through. And so I knew that my, at the time, girlfriend, now wife, was pregnant and due. And so I knew I had to, you know, just try to get whatever job I could. Nothing was coming through for me. And yeah, I applied for the CRS position in, I want to say June, and I didn't start until December 1st. Like the process was, it was a brand new position.
Right.
But the process was so long too. Like I totally forgot that I applied for it. So yeah, got the call or whatever. But LCC itself is the only college I've been to before Siena. It was local. I grew up in Lansing, so I was just familiar with it. And again, for me, it was mostly the positive environment that I was always around. So that's what drew me back here.
Yeah, no, I understand that. It's a good feeling here, I feel like. Definitely. And I think in student service especially, we've built a good foundation of good people that try to look out and see the best in folks and want people to be successful, and we support one another. And so it is a good working environment for me as well. I like it and I enjoyed it. And that's the thing about higher ed for me, was something that I always felt good about. Even when I was in school, I felt good about it. And so this is my happy place. So I definitely understand what you're saying. My next question is like, what really lights you up and what makes you excited in your life?
Man, I would say time with family for sure. Again, I have a wife. I have three boys, 14, 9. My youngest will be 5 in May.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, he grew up quick. You see him grew up through the pandemic when he was climbing on tables in my meetings, and
he was one of my favorites. I loved when we used to have our meetings because between you and Gary's son, I knew I had a exciting time, and y'all would just, and then your baby would jump. I remember one time I said, Laz, has he really got that much energy? He was like, yes.
Yep.
And then I just seen him. He was just jumping from the chair to here. Man. And I was like, wow. And he's 5, because what was that? Well, like he was 1 back then. Was like 1 or 2?
1. Yep. So, yeah, he was born in May of 19. And, you know, newborns, you don't really take out too much. Mm-mm. And then a year later, of course, pandemic happens.
Right.
So, of course, he doesn't know what the world is like at all. Like, I remember seeing him, just watching him just look out the windows sometimes he had this look on his face like, what is all this?
Right. What's going on?
Like, we would go out, but not, you know how it was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
You just couldn't go anywhere, especially with babies.
Right.
Wasn't risking it. So, yeah, he's still a wild child, but as a baby, oh my gosh, man. And you could tell, like, all right, I have to be professional. This isn't phasing me, but he's just in the background just doing whatever. And I'm like, man.
Yeah. We made it through that. It's so interesting how we did it, but it was things like that, I'm not going to lie, that helped me make it through because the isolation for me, it was so horrible that I looked forward to seeing your child and then Gary's child. Yeah. Then I started getting to looking to see pets and stuff. It was just the connection with other people, and I really, you know, I appreciate it now. Now I got to come to work all the time, but back then I was like, I want to come back. I miss everybody, so I definitely get it. So it's just spending time with your family.
Yeah, I would say that's the number one thing, especially if we have like family events planned where, I mean, you have extended family, and those moments are always precious too. But sometimes, like even a small like last year, we went to we did like a 3-day trip, I believe. We spent time at Lake Michigan, and then we took them to Michigan's Adventure.
Oh yeah.
Now, not the most exciting for myself, or even they've been there a few times, but when we don't get out as much with so much school, work, you know, everything that's going on, it's hard to find those times.
Yeah.
But whether it's a planned vacation or something around the city, time at home, whatever it is, I know how fast kids grow up.
Right.
And so it's hard to like not think about how it would be once they get too cool for dad or too cool for mom.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. When it's just her and I, we have adventures. We'll have fun. Like,
right.
Just us.
Yeah. You go.
You know, her and I went to Mackinac Island. I'm not sure if you've ever been, but on the actual island, not much to do.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, we should bring the kids. But I'm like, they would be so bored or complaining. Oh, I'm tired. I'm hungry. Blah, blah, blah. So her and I can have some fun, but the kids, watching them grow up is, especially boys, in my situation, being a father, it's like, this isn't going to last forever. So, yeah, that's it for me, spending time with family for sure.
And that's important. That's a good, you know, to me, I think that's an important value because you're right. 18 comes quick.
Oh, yeah.
And you think in the next minute you turn around and them jokers is grown. And you're like, where did the time go? And so to be aware now, like in the moment, you're aware. That's a good thing because then you can look back on this time and was like, yep, I appreciate it. I knew I wasn't going to have this forever. And so I enjoyed it while I did. So I think that's a great observation to pick up on.
Man, there's even times where we're at home and I'll tell them all, I'll just look around. I'm like, can we put these devices down?
Right.
Can you get off your phone? Can you get off your tablet, iPad, whatever? Let's just do something. I don't care what it is.
Right.
And so I don't know, that time flies. Time flies. So you gotta spend those moments like that together as much as you can.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. So what life lessons have you learned the hard way?
Whew, man.
That sounded like you just spit a life lesson, but
yeah,
what's one you learned the hard way?
the hard way. It's man. I mean, there's a lot, but I think the one that stands out to me is just people in your life. You know, not only do they don't last forever, and for multiple reasons, not just someone passed away or moved away. They're just everyone's temporary, but how long is that temporary?
Mm-hmm.
Temporary could be 10 years. It could be a couple of months. And, you know, I learned that not everyone shares the same love or gives the same love that you may give.
Right.
And I'm not saying I'm the best friend to all of my friends or the best family member or even the best colleague, coworker, whatever. But as far as like showing love for people, you don't always get what you give. And then I've said this to myself actually, that, and I don't know if anyone else has ever said anything like this, so I do not own the copyrights to whatever I'm gonna say, but I don't know if that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, you just letting them know.
I've said that there's 5 layers of friendships or even relationships, you can say. And it's kind of like a pyramid. It gets smaller as you get towards the top. So the lowest level to me is like old friends from whether it's elementary, middle school, high school, whatever, people you may see from time to time, and you'll say hi, you know, but you may have them on social media, may not, but even then you still don't talk to them that much. The next level would be associates, people that you associate with when you see them, or maybe it's someone who, we go back to that temporary, maybe like you have a lot of associates at work typically,
right?
Because you only associate at work, but you associate enough where you know each other at least fairly well enough, I guess. And then you may have, let's say, a common friend. Let's say that common friend is having a get together. You're both there.
Right.
Yeah, you'll talk, but you don't have each other's phone numbers. You don't plan to hang out with each other. You only hang out because of this mutual friend.
Right.
The next level, I would say, is just your friends. I don't want to say regular friends, but friends that you kind of keep up with in a way. You'll reach out from time to time, maybe hang out every now and then, maybe a couple of times out of the year, but you're not in constant contact.
Right.
And then for me as a male, you got your boys. You know, your bros, your brothers, people that you keep in contact with regularly. You try to hang out. You know each other's kids,
right? Things
like that. And then at the top of the pyramid, I learned recently is you have your brothers in Christ, which is a completely different level. That's where, hey man, I really need some prayers. I need some help. Can you know, hey, I need someone to talk to about this situation. I need a little more guidance, you know, things like that. That's the smallest one, at least for me, because you don't have too many people that you can rely on with things like that. Your bros, your brothers, people who you consider really close, yeah, like they can pray for you and stuff like that. They can hope for the best and they support you. But then you have that next level where they're like, I got you. And you know for sure.
Right.
They have me regardless. So that's how I look at it. And unfortunately, not everyone is at the top. Not everyone is in that next level. But I personally can't take it any certain way. Like I'm not at the top of everyone's pyramid either.
Exactly.
You know, like everyone has relationships in certain ways with certain people. And again, that's why everyone is temporary. It's just how long does that temporary last?
Right. What does that temporary look like?
Yep.
And
yep.
I mean, I get it too. When you said, you know, everyone doesn't love you as much as you may love them sometimes. Yep. And I think once you get that lesson, like you okay with it, it helps you to accept a lot of different things that you may not, you know, in another way if you weren't really thinking about that. So what's something you're really proud of and why?
Graduating college. That has to be that. Maybe not the most, but that always comes to mind. My mother's side, to my knowledge, no one's graduated. And so I was the first on my mom's side, and no one has graduated since then.
Oh, wow.
But I have family members who are, making progress toward
pursuing it.
Yep. And so no one's graduated. When I got my associate's degree from LCC, I did the graduation. I'm thinking, oh yeah, like I graduated college, not knowing like, yeah, it counts, but you're not officially considered a college grad without the bachelor's. At least my opinion. I could be wrong, but that was, again, my mom's side. Dad's side, my grandfather, so my dad's father, he graduated from college, but I didn't know that until recently, last few years or whenever, but he passed away before I even got to high school.
Wow. So,
and even if I was in high school, I would not go to him about college advice. I didn't even go to my counselors, my high school counselors. No one,
Yeah.
Again, knucklehead, but and then my uncle, one of my uncles, so dad's brother, he graduated from college as well before me. So I wouldn't consider myself a first gen student, but sometimes I do, claim it just based on mom's side or, I wouldn't even say dad's side, but it's tricky. But either way, I set myself up to where not just job opportunities, but an example for my sons, trying to be that model that they can follow, but do better than what I did. So
I get it. I'm proud of that too. There's a lot of smart people that don't have a college degree.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's the perseverance of being able to go through classes, go through when you don't feel like getting up out of bed, when you don't feel like driving in the snow, you don't feel like walking across campus, when you got other options, you make the choice to come to school and finish and do something that you started, complete something that you started. And so to me, I think that's a great thing. Like, I'm proud of that too. That's one of my top achievements, because although, people do it, not everybody has the perseverance to keep through it. And so, you should be proud of yourself.
The journey itself was, it was rough. Like, I beat the odds. Now, if you talk to any of my teachers in the past, they may say I was one of those type that they looked at me and saw potential. And I was maybe smarter than an average kid, but I never really considered myself the most intelligent or knowledgeable. And those two are different from smart.
Right.
So how I look at it is I had the potential, I just didn't apply myself.
Yeah.
I don't want to put the blame on any of my friends, but the people I hung out with, we got through school, we did what we had to do, but school wasn't a priority. It was just something that we had to do, or we go to school because where else are you going to go? Everyone's at school. All your friends are at school. Like, it's just
that's where you got to be.
So I even tried, I'm not going to lie, I was in some honors classes, but I even tried to flunk out of honors classes because I wasn't friends with too many of the other honors kids.
No, that make a difference though.
It does.
Who you socializing with, what their plans are, what their goals are, makes a difference. And then if you don't see it or believe that you have the capability, then you go with what you know and what look easier. And so I definitely understand that.
Yep.
So what was your first job?
First job, thank God, I ended up at Kroger. Now it was the
K. Roger. No,
K. Roger. Man, that Kroger was, I don't want to say which one it is, but if you're from Lansing, you probably know it was that Kroger that I was at. But I was a bagger or utility worker. The reason why I say thank God is because I dodged 2 bullets from, and this is no knock to anyone who works in the fast food industry, but I dodged 2 bullets from having to work in the fast food industry. My mom was pressing me. I was pressing my mom about getting my license, at least the license. I wasn't worried about the car. I knew I had to, get a job first, pay for insurance, all that stuff. But she wanted me to go to open interviews at a McDonald's restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to work at McDonald's whatsoever. This specific one, at least.
Yeah.
So when we pulled up, she was like, "Okay, go in there. It's from 2 to 5 or whatever it was." And the manager was either out or it was just way too busy, and they had to cancel it. So I even had a nice little dress shirt and everything.
You looking good, ready
Yep.
for it.
Like, so they canceled it. So I go back, tell my mom. She's like, "Okay, now apply at Burger King." Okay, applied at Burger King. I got an interview. Now, mind you, right now, I have a full goatee, chin hair. Back in high school, barely anything up here.
Mhm.
So peach fuzz, right? So halfway through the interview, the manager is like, "Oh, so just so you know, if you're hired, you know, it's a fast-paced environment, so on and so forth, but you will have to cut off your mustache." I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Oh no, that's not happening. I barely have anything. You want me to cut this?" My hair's always been short.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, it's not like I have long hair or anything. They wanted me to cut off my mustache. So I'm like, man, I got to just bomb this interview. And one of the questions after that was, "Do you like to do dishes?" I was like, "No." And so I never told my mom either. I never told my mom that those questions came up. And so they were like, "Yeah, you may want to try like a slower pace environment or maybe like a grocery store or something like that." Sure enough, that's how I got in at Kroger. Yep. Applied, got that job. That's how I started. That was in like March of 2006.
Okay.
Yep.
So you was almost getting ready to graduate, but
Yep.
man, Laz, it's like our time is almost run out. And so I could talk to you so much. You are such an interesting person to talk to. You are a good storyteller. But I do think I'm glad to have an opportunity to interview you. I want the Lansing community and the people in our LCC community to know that we have good people that work here and people that will help you get to your goal. We have people that understand, everybody didn't go through college with 4.0s and made it through in the time period that they were supposed to. So I'm just thankful to have this platform to let the community know. But I just want you to know, Laz, that I think you do an excellent job. I think students who get a chance to work with you are lucky. And I think your children are lucky, too, because they get to have a good role model.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, but is there, on our way out, would you like to say anything to our community before we go?
Well, I would say pray, talk to God, build that relationship with God regardless, and then just spread love, show love. That's it.
All right, you guys, you heard Laz, and I will talk to you later. You've been listening to Who's That Star? I'm Lisa A., and you can listen to this episode of Who's That Star and other shows from LCC Connect anytime online at lccconnect.org. Thank you for listening. Catch me next time to find out who's that star.